if I'm looking ahead to SummerSlam, I'm just looking ahead for roles for Daniel Bryan in August. If he's not challenging AJ for the championship, I don't think he is. I would probably go with Samoa Joe in that spot. By the way, against AJ for the WWE title, assuming that AJ is still champion at that point. I like the idea of Styles and Joe for the championship. Uh, but there is no shortage of opponents for Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. Shinsuke Nakamura being the obvious one, The Miz being another, although I would hold off on that probably until WrestleMania. If they were going to have Bryan work with a newer guy on that show and sort of help put him over, I would much rather they go with Andrade Cien Almas than Big Cass. Now Almas just debuted on SmackDown. They weren't going to put him right into a feud with Daniel Bryan. I'm not saying that, they made the wrong choice for the month of June. But if they were going to put him in there with somebody new in August, it should be Almas. And this casting, hopefully by then, is a thing of the past. And hey, I hope it works out for him, and maybe he'll get over as a big star. But I look at Andrade and I say, you're looking at a guy who you want to get over and has the potential to be a champion or a top star on this brand. You go with Almas. You don't go with Cass. You don't go with Corbin like on Raw. You go with Almas. Because the Almas-Zelina Vega combo is a winning combo. I don't know that SummerSlam would be too soon to do that match with Almas and Bryan. I think that would actually be perfectly acceptable by then. He will have been around for a few months. So they have a lot. The point is with Bryan, they have a lot of options. Whether it's AJ, Joe, Nakamura, Almas, they have options for the guy. But we all have to remember one very important thing with Daniel Bryan, because we still don't have an answer on this. We don't know if Bryan has signed a new deal with WWE. I don't believe he has. I have not heard anything definitively saying that Daniel Bryan has signed a new contract with WWE. If not, that means that his deal, I believe, would be expiring sometime in September. And I don't think it's a guarantee that he's staying in this company. Now, if you said to me, you have to make a choice, do you think he's staying or do you think he's leaving? I think he'll stay. I think in the end he will stay. And they'll make a big play to make sure that they can keep him under contract. Maybe he'll make some demands and say, look, if I'm going to re-sign with you, I want some assurances that you're not just going to put me on the shelf if I get a little cut on my head. So it may be a back and forth negotiation like that. I don't know. But in the end, I think he'll stay. But he could very well leave. It's also very possible that he says, look, I don't need this. I like working the indies. I was kind of looking forward to going back and working on the indies and working with all these new people I've never worked with before, having the freedom to do what I want, and I don't have to worry about doctors telling me I can't wrestle. So this could go either way. And look, if he wants to work indies again, if he's afraid that WWE is going to screw him over again, he could very well walk out. If he has a bucket list of things that he would like to do before he retires, if there's, let's say, certain people in New Japan, or if there's certain people in Mexico that he'd like to work with before he retires, what is he now, 36, 37? He's not getting any younger. If he signs a contract, it probably would be, you got to figure it, probably they want at least a 3-year deal out of him. He'd be 40 at that point. It's now or never. If he has a list of things he'd like to do, it's probably now or never, right? And if WWE thinks that he may walk out after SummerSlam, then I think someone like Almas would be the perfect opponent for him to put over on his way out. They're not going to put Bryan in a championship match at SummerSlam if they think he may leave. So a lot of what they're doing with him now, I think, is also driven by maybe an uncertainty about what his future may be in that company. We have to just keep that in mind. It may not be, they're trying to screw him, they're trying to bury him. Why are they booking him this way? That probably has as much to do with it as anything if he hasn't signed a new contract. But I think Almas, especially if he is going to leave, I think Almas would be the perfect opponent for him. Him putting over, let's say, Nakamura on his way out is far less valuable than him putting over somebody who really needs it, and that would be a huge win. And a huge credibility boost, I think, for Andrade to get a clean win over Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. That could really elevate him, I think, to the next level on that SmackDown brand. So let's just not forget that his contract status is still up in the air, and I think that's going to dictate how WWE books him this summer more than anything else.